Hi everybody, I would like to do a little follow-up video on my Pebble smartwatch that I've been using for a while now, and this is it. It's the Pebble Steel, that's the version, and I have mixed feelings about it. So what it does quite well is serve as a basic interface between you and your telephone. So instead of, every time you get an email or a message, having to pull out the phone and looking at who sent you the message or looking who sent you an email, you will have it on your watch. And that works actually quite well. If maybe I can show you how. This is one of the watch faces that you can put in. You can have several watch faces. Note that every watch face takes up one of the 8 spots for application, let's say, and then you go into the functions and into notifications, and you have your notifications that includes everything, SMS, system notifications, and emails. So that's the basic functions. What it also has, it can control the music on your iPhone, which I personally never use. It has alarms. That's pretty good. You can set alarms. You can switch from one watch face to the other. You have your settings, and that's basically like Bluetooth, notification settings. For example, you can set do not disturb scheduled time. So I say, for example, from 11 o'clock to 8 in the morning, I don't want it to vibrate when a message comes in or a notification comes in. You can turn them off. Or other things that you can do, for example, are Bluetooth. You can switch it to flight mode, basically. So it disables Bluetooth. It will show you when it's connected and things like that. Let me just go back. You can track your activities. It tells you if there's an application that tracks your activities. You can see it here, but you can only see it or turn it on and off. You have quick launch. That means you can set, usually you press this center button here to get to the applications, and what you can do is you can set the top and bottom button for a press and hold function, where you basically say, I want, when I press the top button or the down button in this case, I want a certain application to be started. Then you have your date and time settings. They do synchronize with the phone. You have your display functions or settings. You can set the backlight to automatically turn on if you flip your wrist, and you can turn it always on, which I would not recommend because it will drain your battery pretty quickly, or you can turn it all off. So that is that. It will give you information about the system, about the firmware, and you can shut it down and you can reset it to factory settings. So that's the settings you have. Then you have 8 spaces, 8 slots for applications and watch faces. So the fact that it's only 8 is kind of limiting. But there are 2 things you have to consider. First of all, using it with the up and down buttons. If you had like 50 applications and the one you want to get to is on 49 or 48 or 50, it will take you forever to get there. So scrolling through 8 applications is feasible. Scrolling through 50 would probably be totally impossible. So you would have to use another user interface, because this thing does not have a touch screen. It's all with these 4 buttons. You have this one, which is like the back button. You have this one that is the button to select or to move one level further, and then you have these two scroll buttons that go up and down. So for example, let's say I have connected it to my Evernote account. That's interesting, but it doesn't really allow you to do a lot of things. What I use it for with the Evernote account, if you have checklists in Evernote, it will show them to you as checklists. So you can go in, have the checklist loaded, and you go through, for example, your shopping list, and you can actually click one and it will check that position, or click it again and it will uncheck that position. So that is what this one does. You have different applications for activity tracking, and this leads me to another thing. The point is that many of these applications are based on so-called companion apps. So you will have to install an app onto your phone that then communicates with the watch. So the Pebble still, even in that case, will mostly be an interface, like a remote control or a remote display for the app. And the app has usually to be active to be able to connect to the watch. So in the end, there again you have this limitation of 8 applications that you can run. And remember that watch faces take up spots that are usually reserved for applications. So if you, for fun, want to download like 6 watch faces, you will only have 2 slots for applications left. So this put together means that you have certain limitations. And now in terms of the apps that you can run, the apps in the Pebble App Store are free. At least I haven't found any that cost money there. But all the, or almost all the companion apps that you will have then to install onto your phone, in my case an iPhone, are not only you have to pay for them, but they're actually quite expensive, you know, up to like $4 or something like that for a rather basic app. So this has a few problems. First of all, well, you're not really encouraged to try many things, because after 2 or 3 tries where you download a companion app for $3 and you find out that it's crap, and there's a lot of crap out there in among these apps, you will be very careful that you basically focus on what you really need and leave out all the experimentation. And this is not good for the system. I have to really say that. If I think back of like the first months in the App Store, when everybody was downloading apps like crazy because they were mostly free or very, very cheap, you could just go out and make experiments and try things. You will not do that if you have to pay $3 or $4 for an app and then you find out that it doesn't serve you well. So this is one of the problems that I see with this thing. Another one of the problems is that the system is not really stable. And what I mean by not really stable is, first of all, quite often when you want it, these apps do not connect. So if I, for instance, go down, now obviously showing it to you like this will not work, because I will just, no, in this case it works, but many times it does not work, and that may have to do with something. When you connect the Pebble Watch to your iPhone, it uses 2 channels in Bluetooth, as far as I've understood. There's a regular Bluetooth connection and there's a Bluetooth low energy connection, and sometimes it connects only via Bluetooth. That's why you also see the indication in this case here, or if you move one further and go to the settings, you will see that Bluetooth is connected. In this case it doesn't show here, but in the phone sometimes you then see that you have 2 pebbles indicated, one regular and one LE, and one is connected and the LE is not connected. Now I don't know what other effects that may have, but my impression is that, for example, during that time you do not receive notifications and some apps don't connect. So then you have to take your phone out, reconnect everything manually, and then it will work. So that is a little bit of a problem. And combined with the fact that you have to pay for the apps, and not little. You sometimes really have to pay amounts that, compared to iPhone apps, for example, are substantial. You feel slightly, ripped off. I don't want to say it's all like that, and maybe I made some mistakes in configuring it, but I did it twice to be sure that, or to be almost sure that it wasn't something I did wrong. And I have to say the stability of this system is by far not sufficient. So what does it really do? In the end, what it really does is, when it does it, when it's connected, it's an extension, it's a display extension, remote display for your phone. So whenever a message comes in, you look at the watch and not take out the phone if you're curious to see who sent you a message. On the other hand, what it also does is you have it on your wrist, and it will vibrate every time a message or any kind of notification comes in. So you're sitting there in a restaurant talking to people, and all the time you have this thing going bzz, bzz, bzz. Even if you don't look, it will bother people. So you have to be more selective maybe about what messages. The possibilities of setting that up, this kind of selection filters, as far as I've understood, it's quite good in Android, but it's not yet that developed on the iPhone. And since the Apple Watch is coming out early next year, probably, maybe they're not going to develop it any further, because it's going to be a competition that they cannot win. So my impressions are, I'm happy that I tried it, I'm happy that I got it, and I will keep using it every now and then until the Apple phone comes out. And if that's as good as people say it will be, I will probably switch to that. I don't think it will really change your life. I was hoping to have something that really makes my use of the phone substantially different by giving you certain possibilities here. It's not reliable enough for that. At the same time, it's too expensive to try things. I haven't downloaded a new app in 2 weeks now. I did it in the beginning, and then I found out that I spent like $20 on apps that I didn't need or didn't work the way I wanted them to. So that's my idea of it. You don't have to agree. If you want to try it, it's not that expensive. It will cost you like not even $200, the steel one, and the other one's even cheaper. So you may give it a try, but I don't think it's a viable solution to use permanently. And if they don't develop certain or debug it in certain aspects, it will not really be successful. That's my opinion. Thank you very much, and have a great day. Subscribe if you like, and hope to see you back here soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.